Excuses are kind of like side quests. They provide context to the world around you, but ultimately are kind of irrelevant to the overall narrative. Hello, curiosities, and welcome to Day 8 of my 30 and 30 and 30. That's 30 lessons over 30 days, which I have learned in my 30 years on this planet. April 21st will be my birthday, and we are working through trying to get these lessons out. I was feeling really emotionally drained because there's a lot of crap going on in the world right now, you guys. Obviously, I filmed these at least a day before, and last night the U.S. launched missiles at Syria, and I'm still kind of processing that, and we'll talk about that later. This is not a Serious Pie episode. I have to process with my brain before I begin to even, I don't even know. I know I'm scared. But we're not going to talk about that right now because that's a whole ball of wax that we will address later. But I realized because I was so emotionally drained from this and just tired and just numb, I didn't really know what I wanted to film. And so I was kind of struggling with that. And finally, I just admitted on Twitter, you know what? Saturday's video is going to be late. It's going to be late. I'm just going to admit that right now, get it out of the way so I'm not stressing about if I'm going to do it on time. And I realized in doing that and just being very upfront with you guys and just admitting it, I knew what I wanted to talk about. So maybe this will still be a bit late, and that's fine, but at least I now know what my topic is and what I actually have the energy to talk about today. Excuses, excuses, excuses. So I went to a private art school, and when I was there, they just overloaded us with work. So much work every class. And a lot of it wasn't even like typical paperwork, so you couldn't just I wrote a paper and blah. It was like scene work and character work and memorization, and I was at school for about 16 hours a day, sleeping very little. I'd like to think that this was purposeful. Maybe it wasn't, but I'd like to think on some level it was purposeful. Because one, you had to learn to pick your battles and what to you were not going to get it all done. Or maybe you were and you just weren't going to sleep. It was really a matter of just choosing what to do. But something great that I learned from that is when I didn't complete something, or when I messed up or I failed to do something, I would just admit it. It would be like, Kiri, do you have your paper today? No, I failed to finish in time. And that would be it. And the funny thing I learned from that is when you don't add an excuse, there was a huge amount of respect. Oh my God, I got so many extensions just to be very well, can you turn it in tomorrow? I'm like, yes, absolutely. And I would. But it was that matter of just being able to own up, I'm not going to make an excuse, or oh, my dog ate my homework. It was just, I failed to complete this in the time allotted. When I have let a friend down, I do my best to just say, I'm really sorry, I messed up. If they want further context, or if it seems appropriate for the conversation, I will give it to them. But the really important part of that conversation is really just, I'm sorry, I messed up. That's it. That's really all it is. And I feel like so many people don't understand that. They want to provide extra narrative to just dig themselves out of it. And here's the thing, regardless why something happened, someone got hurt or something didn't get done, the result stays the same. Your motive, yes, may change the severity or your intent, but it still happened. If you hit someone with your car, it doesn't matter so much to the person who got hit with the car and died if it was manslaughter or first-degree murder. They're still dead. And I feel like we do this a lot with apologies. When really, look, in some cases, providing further narrative and explanation is appropriate, but for the most part, to move the story forward, to actually have this be a meaningful connection with the person you're talking to, you need to admit you were wrong, and you need to apologize. Dumbing it down really simply. Your mileage may vary on depending what happened and what you're apologizing for. But in my experience, people will be so much more appreciative if you just apologize. Sincerely apologize. Admit you messed up. And that's it. Because otherwise you're almost trying to shift blame off of yourself. And regardless, you had a part in it, Whether you did or did not do something that caused this thing to happen. Whether literally someone was holding you back, to an extent, doesn't really matter. Yes, of course it matters if you're like, I was dodging an enemy who was trying to kill me and they cut my brake lines or whatnot. But when it comes to that interaction with that person, the important thing between you and that person right there is, I let you down and I'm sorry. That's it. Thank you so much for joining me again. I hope you like, share, subscribe, and comment with your own experiences, and have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.